What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about these hand cast molds you see everybody doing. I've seen one at my buddy's place and was totally in love with it, so I had to go buy one for me and my wife to do. And then as soon as we got it casted, that was the really easy part. They're super simple kits. I'll put a link in the description for that at the bottom. But that's the easy part. You clean them up a little bit after they come out. They get these little balls on them. You go through the piece of sandpaper, touch them up. But once you get done, the real question becomes is how do you paint them and what do you paint them with? And I've seen a lot of different people post these online. I went through a lot of photos to try to figure out what actual paint works the best and what was the best way to finish these, because they don't really give you any descriptions in the instructions on how to paint them. And I wanted mine to come out glossy like this here, yet still show all of the veins and crevices in the hand. But I want to be able to clean it and stuff like that, you know, and paint does not like to stick to this gypsum or whatever this mold material's made out of. Even the actual mold material, the gelatin that's on this, when you try to wash it off and stuff like that, it sticks in little spots. You have to really pick it out. Paint absolutely does not like to stick to that. And after doing a bunch of research online and seeing a bunch of people do them a bunch of different ways, I went with the Rust-Oleum acrylic paint in a can, and you don't just spray paint it on lightly and gingerly. You actually set them upright like this, and you flood them until the paint's just pouring down it on a piece of plastic. And then you let it dry really, really good before you even try to touch it. And it'll come out super glossy like this, yet you could still see all of the casting marks. But if not, you'll get giant blotches. If you keep trying to spray little bits here, little bits there, it'll just blotch out. Certain spots won't stick. You need to flood it with enough paint. I honestly went through 2 spray cans of paint to make sure that these were completely flooded and it's soaked in. Now it's shiny and hard and absolutely happy with the way it came out. So that's the first issue, is what do you paint it with? And I'm going to say again, the Rust-Oleum acrylic high gloss paint, I went with white. I've seen people do black. You could do any color with it. I'll put a link in the description below for the paint so you know exactly which kind it is that I used. But once you get done painting it, you got to mount it. And the same way paint don't like to stick to this, glue does not like to stick to this as well. So what I did was I took a 1/4 inch drill bit and I drilled a hole, setting my depth, making sure I didn't blow past it. I've seen people try to drill through the bottom of their placard or their base and come into it and then they split. I've seen the oops videos on those. I don't want mine to do that. So real carefully, I just took a 1/4 inch drill bit. It drilled it real easily with no shock or anything to it. And then they sell these little wooden dowels. You get a 10-pack of them. I'll put a link in the description below. I just went to Joann's to get these, and they're exactly a 1/4 inch. And that dowel fits inside of them holes perfectly. So with a little bit of glue, which they recommend Elmer's glue, believe it or not, it works really well to secure this into the hole. So that's, basically how you're going to do that. Then you're going to pre-drill your holes in your base that line up perfectly with those where you're going to want it to sit on the base. And that's how you're going to stab it and then adhere it down to the wood. So that way you get really good contact and you know that it's not going to break away from the base. But before you actually set it or drill the holes, you're going to want to sand the bottom flat. I absolutely did not like the way that some of the online pictures had the reveal along the wood with big gaps and bulges. I wanted mine to sit flat. So I just went to Ace, and for $1.99, I got a really good thick or coarse piece of sandpaper at 100 grit for $1.99. And then I got one to finish it off at $2.20 for cleaning up the edges. And that was $1.99 as well. I set it on a flat piece of wood or a table like this, and I worked it in circles until it was flat. That way you get a nice, perfect reveal. But those 2 steps right there to start with are going to help you dramatically make this thing look clean when it finally gets set on the actual plaque. Now we'll move on to the next step. So before we actually mount the molded hands on here, we're going to go ahead and use this laser pecker to engrave our names into it. You could do the same thing, or remembrance. These are really cheap. You could get them off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below, but I absolutely love these laser peckers. You can do it from your mobile app off your phone, send it right over, start burning. Of course, you're going to want a fan going like we have one going to suck the smoke back so you're not breathing it. But other than that, these laser peckers do amazing jobs for engraving. All I did was take a board and I put some double-sided sticky tape on it, got my height with my laser pecker right where it needed to be. Now I don't bump anything. I burn the first one on the plank and then make buoyancy lines, and then I adjust my placard where those buoyancy lines are so I know it'll burn it all on there evenly right where you want it. But that's a simple trick and a great way to finish off these hand mold plaques. So once you're all done with the actual laser pecker, doing your engravings, and you got it glued on and mounted like I did, you can see how nice the reveal line is there. And you can see by the paint how it comes out like looking like a piece of marble. Real clean look. You're going to want to finish it off with some of this green felt. It has a sticky side or a sticky back. I'll put a link in the description for this below. You could get a variety pack of colors for about 10 bucks. It's just nice stuff to have. You line the bottom of your placard with it. The problem is it doesn't like to stick to the actual stain that this kit comes with when it comes with the placard or the base. So your kit that's in the description below, it comes with this, where a lot of them don't come with it. You're forced to buy them from somewhere else and then stain them yourself. Well, not only that, but by drilling the holes in the bottom, you would have left 2 hole marks anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Elmer's glue. We're going to rub a fine coat over the bottom of this, peel the sticky back off, and then adhere it to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a pair of scissors and cut me out a big square right now, get the glue on it, and get it set down. Try to make sure you get around the edges. Rub it in with your finger a little bit. You don't want gobs squeezing out. You just want enough to make sure that it's covered, especially around the edges. That's where these things always like to come off at. Then I'm going to peel this sticky back. Try to do this with one hand here. Then I'm going to just plant it in the center. Just like that. Flip it over, rub it down really good. Now I'm going to go find my X-Acto knife and cut it off really clean all the way around. All right, there it is. Got it all cut out. Really happy with the way it came out. I just think that gives it a really clean look. Plus it hides the 2 post holes that you made to hold the hand on. And it's solid. I mean, it'll never come off there. You still get a really nice clean reveal line. Just super happy with the way it came out. I've seen so many bad ones, like I said, that I wanted mine to look like a piece of marble or almost like it was carved. And this feels and looks like a piece of marble, but just by the feel alone, I already know that it'll stay much cleaner. Dust will come off of it easier. And the last tip I am going to give you guys is that if you guys buy this one off of the description below and you get the same exact kit, it comes with the base plate and all that stuff, and you don't have to buy one. But it does come with enough in the sample setup that they want you to use before you actually mold your hands to do your kid's hand. And I just put it in a Dixie cup instead of the container they gave you, and you could actually see my baby girl's hand was touching the inside of the Dixie cup right there. But I think it's killer, and I'm going to mount it right over here like this and mimic this one, following all the same process. I already got my post mounted and all that. But there it is. That's how you guys can do these hands with a couple of tricks. And, you know, especially on the finishing for the paint, I think that one's a winner. But other than that, thank you guys for subscribing. I can't even believe this channel has gotten this many subscribers. We really appreciate it. So you guys will probably be seeing more videos coming, and we'll be catching you guys on the next one. So take care. Later.